Oh, wow, that was depressing. Hi everyone, this is Tomasz, and today we're going to review Cold War. This film was written and directed by Pawlikowski, I believe is how you say his name. He is a Polish filmmaker who made Ida, which was an incredible film. That film is close to perfect in my opinion. If you enjoy foreign films, then I highly recommend it. It's only an hour and 20 minutes, so if you don't like it, it's not like you wasted a whole lot of time. This newest film, Cold War, is very similar to that of Ida. It has the same 1:37:1 aspect ratio. It was shot in black and white by the same director of photography, and it's slightly longer than Ida. Cold War takes place during the 1950s in Europe. This story is about a forbidden love between a young Polish peasant named Zula, played by Joanna Kulig, and a musical director of a folk music group named Victor, played by Tomasz. On top of being a musical director, he's also a very gifted pianist and musician. Zula's good singing voice, assertiveness, and scrappiness gets Victor's attention very early on, so as he falls in love with her, he tries to get her to flee the communist regime of Russia and go to France with him. As the relationship grows, it faces many challenges along the way due to the political climate during that time and their own character flaws. So I didn't know this film was going to have such a rich variety of music. I watched the trailer and knew there would be some jazz, but this film contains old Polish folk music, swing music, and we also see Victor creating musical scores for horror films, which was super cool. Speaking of which, the main song of this film that appears in the trailer is gorgeous. Go ahead and listen to it, you will not regret it. I loved all of the music in this film, especially the Polish folk dancer stage performances, which were beautifully choreographed and executed. What's also a huge plus is how the music informs the time period and the attitude of Polish people post-World War II. As Victor searches Poland for recruits to join his musical ensemble, the people he finds to do auditions sing the most depressing and bleak songs. These auditions feel like a post-apocalyptic black and white art house episode of American Idol. This film explores how art or music can be used as a beautiful form of expression and how it also can be co-opted to serve the status quo, which in this case is communism. The film also shows how art can bring you close to the people you really care about, but can also sometimes take precedence over those people. A lot of these themes are communicated visually. The cinematography of Cold War is wonderful. It has a very similar style to that of Ida, so it's nothing new necessarily, but it's still beautiful and stunning nonetheless. The visual presentation of this film is so haunting. It feels like a distant memory, which lines up with the time period along with the events of the story, which unfolds over the course of several years. All of the performances are excellent. Joanna Kulig kills it in this film. She kind of looks like Jessica Chastain. There is a beautiful scene that got me a little emotional where Victor travels all the way to Yugoslavia to watch Zula perform at this huge arena in front of this huge crowd of people. She quickly spots him in the audience as he's looking very intently at her. Once Zula notices that Victor has abruptly left the theater, she's visibly torn up by it, and it causes her to just sleepwalk through the rest of her performance. It was such a beautiful way of visually showing how much these two characters cared about each other. The same thing happens with Victor, who uses music as an outlet when things aren't going well with his relationship. This is very apparent during a scene where he plays at a local jazz club in Paris, where he plays the piano very drunkenly and aggressively, completely ignoring the jazz band that he's supposed to be playing with. Now, for all the things this film does right, the one major issue that stops it from being great is the underdeveloped romance. There's only two scenes I can think of where we see these characters get to know each other and grow an affection towards each other, and after that, they're instantly in love, or we're supposed to assume they're in love. And when they're in love, there's still this sense of detachment between them, because all they do is stare at each other passionately, have sex, argue, do music stuff, and talk about how they're going to miss each other. There's just not enough substance there, in my opinion, to get fully invested in this romance. I wish this film had taken its time more to get to know these characters and their relationship by giving them more things to do and more interesting things to talk about. Besides that, this film is very good. It has stuck with me since I've watched it. It is very depressing, but there is great music, there's great cinematography, there are many images that are hard to forget. Looking forward to seeing what Pawlikowski does next. Hopefully I'll know how to pronounce his name correctly next time I review one of his films. I'm going to give Cold War a 3.5 out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. You are so kind. Leave your thoughts on Cold War in the comments section below. Leave a recommendation on a film that I should watch and review next while you're down there. Keep an eye out for my January recap, where I go over all the movies that I saw in January that I didn't do a formal review for. Hit the like button if you like this video, or share this video, or both, whichever you prefer. And as always, if you dig the channel, then subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Josh, and stay warm. I will see you next time.